Hello there, this is Red Dwarf TV. This is the Smegcast, episode 10. My name is Bex Trista. With me I have Mary.
Hello.
And I have Don.
Hello.
Obviously, we are mostly talking today about Series 12, Episode 1, Cured. This is the second set of 6 episodes that were filmed in 2016. So obviously this has a very similar tone to Series 11 because they filmed these two series back to back. First off, what did you think about the episode, Mary?
I loved it. On a first watch, I've seen it 3 times now, and on a first watch, I was like, this is good. This is, kind of classic stuff. I'm liking it. On a second watch, I liked it more. On the third time, which was just this evening, in fact, on the website, I was like, that. I just adore it. I really, really adore it. I think it's a strong start to the new series, straight out of the paddock, down the field, galloping, and hopefully it will continue with the rest of the run.
Don, how about you? What was your impression of this one?
Yeah, I was bored of it first time I watched it. I was like, oh, Hitler's going to annoy me all the way through it because I was...
I like that. Hitler, slightly annoying.
Yeah, it was a bit annoying. And then it got halfway through and I thought, okay, this is getting slightly better. And then at the end, I was like, I'll watch it again. And about 1,000 watches later, I'm doing a podcast about it. So it's all good. It's better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. For me, it's one where I was watching it and some of the time I was thinking, you know what, this is reminding me too much of things like Justice. I can't remember what series that was in. And Legion. It reminded me a little bit of things like where they go somewhere, they meet someone, it is not what it appears. But then again, that is a kind of format that they do purposefully go back to. It isn't quite the same as when they just repeated the polymorph stuff at the end of last series. Although the baby polymorph was super, super cute. This was a good standalone idea within itself. But it is one that you kind of watch more than once. So moving into spoilery type territory now, because that's unavoidable. So hopefully everyone listening to this has gone on to UK TV Play and has seen this at least 6 times themselves now. But yeah,
only 6.
Well, some people got to go to work and stuff, right?
Yeah, good point.
Eat stuff like, I don't know, things I can only imagine. I'm very, very jet lagged and I have no idea what day of the week it is. But
Sunday.
The next question. Oh goodness! Don't even tease me with what day of the week. I got up at 2 a.m. this morning because I went to bed at 6 p.m. yesterday.
How fun! Right.
But the first thing I did was watch Red Dwarf, so at least I started the day as I meant to go on.
Dedicated. Kudos.
Yes. So, Cured. What was your likes and dislikes for this one, Mary?
Likes, yeah. I mean, he was a standout character, and obviously he was in it more than the other characters in the episode. Hitler was. Can I say this sentence? Hitler was brilliant. I've just said it. The actor
we're
that played
totally
Hitler,
not going to take that out of context.
Yeah,
we're not going to sample that and make it into some kind of put a donk on it animated GIF meme.
Please don't, guys. Yeah. So the actor that played Hitler was brilliant. I actually sent a bit of a fangirl tweet to him the other day saying kudos, and you know what for. One of my favourite parts that he did is when he took the cup of tea into Lister with his camp Austrian, although it sounded like there was a bit of Dutch in there as well. His accent was all over the place, but in the best possible way. And how he just switched effortlessly from his kind of Austrian-esque accent into like full-on Corrie northernness. that was the thing. I think that drew the first belly laugh from me when I was watching it the first time, and then I was just looking forward to seeing that scene on the subsequent times that I've watched it. Other things that I liked, Cat just doing the whole, as he called it, pokey face at the end when he just shoots Shawl in the head and the other's faces drop. What else? I mean, like I say, the more that I watch it, the more that I love it. So there's definitely other things in it that I love. I can't think of right now. I'm going to have to watch it 60 more times. But those are two things that I'm going to bring to you right now and say those are the things that I liked.
Yeah. So are your dislikes slowly turning more into your likes the more times you watch it?
Oh, yeah. I know what Don was saying, like when he said earlier, I loved how he kind of just truthfully was like, oh, first time I watched it, didn't really like it. Hitler was getting on my nerves. And I think it was getting on my nerves a bit when I first watched it. And then I kind of just realised that he was doing a brilliant performance, and I just then suddenly got what it was all about. So I think that dislike has turned into a like. Things that I didn't like, I don't know, it's difficult because I really think it was a very strong episode overall. I'm at this point in time, I am struggling to think of a dislike.
That's not a bad thing. That's a positive thing to say. What about you, Don? Have your dislikes turned into likes, or have you still got some dislikes?
I have been sitting there trying to think of something I didn't like about it. And like I said, I didn't like it when I first watched it, but now that I've seen it about 1,000 times, that song has been stuck in my head since last week. And I've been singing it at work, and it's but I don't really not like any of it. I can't pinpoint something I don't like about it.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the few occasions where everyone's going to sit around a table and go, you know what? I really enjoyed Hitler. That's not a sentence I expected to say in my life. And strangely, it's not the first time that we've had Hitler in Red Dwarf. I don't know how Hitler became like a reoccurring Red Dwarf character, but we've had various people play Hitler at various points in the series, such as a strange thing to keep going and revisiting and making it funnier each time.
Yeah, that is a very good point. You're absolutely. Ooh, I can't even talk. You're absolutely right. I think the second time I watched it, I did kind of vaguely think of, was it Time Slides, where Hitler appears and Lister nicks his bag, and what's the sandwich that he finds? Is it banana and crisps or something like that?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Oh, I'd forgotten about that. That was a good random moment. Yeah. I'm trying to think the things I disliked. I'll do a like first. I very much like the fact that Kat is getting more badass.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying that. That was one because I wasn't terribly keen on the last episode, the last series, because I really wanted it not to be a polymorph. I wanted it actually to be a cat. They could have just got, if they don't want to introduce new characters, they could have just got rid of the characters at the end of the episode. But I wanted those cats not to be polymorphs and to be cats. So I kind of like went through that episode kind of like, but I really, really enjoyed the cat being badass at the end of that episode, and he's got to be badass again. And I'm hoping there's going to be more of that because his character seems the one that evolves the most out of everyone over the series. He's changed and grown the most, and if he's now going to grow into a complete utter badass, that would be brilliant for me. Things I disliked, I keep thinking that the spaceship's getting more and more blue every series. Is that just me? The interior of the spaceship, they lighting it blue.
Which one?
The red dwarf predominantly, but they seem to have, I remember it all used to be very, very red inside, and I swear over the series is looking more and more blue.
Well, the sleeping quarters are still definitely red, which is in keeping with the recent series on Dave. Blue, is it more in the corridors? Are you on about the lighting?
Yeah,
the walls?
Yeah, the lighting and stuff. I don't know what it is, but I found that slightly distracting. It's a very strange thing to have disliked, but I sat there going like, is everything lit blue? Why is everything blue? Everything should be red or grey. This is Red Dwarf. They can't afford blue lights. But that
is this where I crack a terrible joke and ask if the colour hue on your computer is working properly? No, I'm just kidding.
I very much hope so. Or there's going to be a lot of websites in the wrong colours over the last few days. A lot of very multicoloured, very boring websites will have occurred otherwise. But I have noticed stuff like that sort of. I think in some ways I want them to change and evolve stuff, but other ways I quite like stuff to stay exactly the same. And for some reason, colour is the one I pick up on.
Yeah, I do hear what you're saying, and like when I was watching again today, and part of me did kind of hanker for the kind of older sets where it was grey. I mean, obviously that's kind of series 1 and 2, classic odd couple stuck in space. But I hadn't really noticed them being lit more blue. But I feel it's getting, the sleeping quarters are getting darker. I'm sure they were much lighter on series 10.
Maybe the bulbs are starting to go. Maybe that's the problem.
Maybe they're on blue alert. Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe that's what the blue is. It's actually they're on permanent blue alert and we've just not mentioned it.
They just haven't noticed. It would not surprise me if they just hadn't noticed. Right, so I think I can guess the answer to some of these bits, but Mary, what was your favourite moment in this episode? If you could pick one and only one.
Well, as much as I mentioned the cup of tea thing, oh, it's hard. It's really hard. Actually, one of my, and I almost felt it was a bit of a throwaway line, or rather it was subtle, but I think kind of seasoned fans would probably, if you mentioned it, really relish it. In fact, I've talked to 2 fans this week who both independently said, I love that line when. The bit where Shawl switches them off and the droids all walk off and walk out of the room, and I can't remember the exact line. I should have written it down. It's something akin to, well, yeah, they're droids. Did you not realise that Hitler was not really much like Hitler? Can either of you remember that line? Do you know the line I'm on about?
Yeah, so it was, they said, didn't you realise Hitler didn't look much like Hitler or something like that? Yeah. That was very good, because it was one of those things that completely drew attention to the fact that they're doing things on a budget. Things are not very accurate. It kind of felt like calling them up on their own. You know, well, surely you should have noticed we couldn't actually get an actor that looked exactly like this. And I did quite like that as well. And it was like you say, it was quite subtle and quite throwaway, but it was completely and utterly crucial to the plot and very funny. Don, what is your favourite moment?
That bloody song. That's the only bit I've watched more than the whole episode. I just keep skipping to it. I just can't stop singing it, and I know it's sad, but it's that song.
Do you have a new ringtone now?
Oh, don't. No. I mean, it will be now that you've said it, but.
And now everyone's just going to constantly drop call you and hang up just to make you listen to it.
No complaints. No complaints. Yeah.
It looked like they had fun filming that bit. I'd be interested to see the Smeg ups when they come out for this series, but just they seems to be playing with so much relish and gusto and really kind of just going for it. I would have loved to have been in the audience watching that scene.
Yeah, it felt like that scene went on for quite a while, longer than we would expect, but they were enjoying it so much. You sort of get caught up with them, and you're enjoying that, you're vicariously enjoying their enjoyment. They're kind of pulling you through what should be completely cringeworthy and terrible, but somehow is a lovely bonding moment between one of the main stars and Hitler. I think I'm going to be saying Hitler a lot this episode. Very, very surreal.
I mean, the other characters were also great. I loved, there was the line also near the end where they were about to do the, was it the psychopath test? And again, this is ridiculous. I watched it half an hour ago. But there was a line, it was basically like a bit of a poke at Vlad the Impaler. And he's like something like 5,000 mistakes, and you get pulled up on that. So something along those lines. Although their parts were maybe not quite so prominent in the episode, I thought they definitely played them all well. The guy that played Stalin, I thought, was also really excellent, as was Messalina.
Yeah, it was great with the kind of the way. I mean, I really did enjoy Kat in this episode, and I think my favourite moments are all basically Kat's bits in this episode. And I love the fact when they're basically telling him he is a psychopath and all the things that are wrong with him, he just stands there and went, "They left off handsome." Gets criminal. His delivery in this episode was very, very spot on. The comic timing was very spot on, and I think that yeah, I think the cat moments were my favourites in this one.
Yeah. Also, just actually going back to the beginning of the episode where he learns how to do poker face, where he's just so excited that he's got a really good hand, and then Lister teaches him how to do a poker face, and then he does it, but then he ends up crying because he's like, well, how many cards do you want? He's like, 5.
Yeah, he's adorable. He's the most sort of self-indulgent psychopath, apparently. Adorable cat, like an actual pet cat. You know that all they care about is food, and they'd eat you if you were unconscious and there was no food. But somehow they're adorable. We dedicate entire websites to them on the internet, and Cat really does manage to embody that. He's very likable, and he doesn't care about anyone, and that somehow doesn't detract from his appeal.
I also liked it when he shot Shaw point blank range in the head, and then went, "I'm hungry, let's eat."
Again, exactly what a cat would do. The portrayal of a humanoid cat is just is so good. I feel they've just done a lot of research into this.
What regarding the? Oh, hang on. Regarding cat or just the plot
I think they just went and pet loads of cats. I think that's what they do. I think they just go pets. Yep, these are terrible creatures. How cute, lovely. Carry on.
Yeah, them and half the world.
Yes. Having owned many cats, I can concur that you both wonder why you have one, think they're evil, and then as soon as you don't have one, you consider getting another.
Oh God, that's right.
So let's just be glad there are no actual human cats, or this would be even worse, and I'd be shown up even more for my terrible lack of fashion sense. Right, so loads of favourite moments, which is pretty awesome. I mean, it's only episode 1, and already some people can't decide what their favourite moment is, or their least favourite moments turning into their favourite moments. So what did you think of the guest stars? We'll go to you again, Mary.
All very good. I thought the professor, he had that way about him, and it was the kind of the reveal at the end where it turns out he doesn't need to, be in the wheelchair, and he's kind of standing up and he's pointing the gun at them. I thought he played that really well. I thought his delivery of his lines were really good. I thought Messalina was good. So in a way, I kind of thought it was a shame that Messalina, Vlad, and Starlin were maybe just a little bit more in the background. But I still think what they brought to the show was good and definitely needed as kind of an ensemble. So yeah, thumbs up. They're all great. If they want to come back and do guest spots in more episodes as different, characters, I would definitely be up for seeing any of those people back.
Yeah. Anyone you particularly like, Don?
Well, I just want a spin-off series of all these people in it.
So you're really on board with these guys, the adventures of cured dictators.
Of Vlad and Hitler. I thought Vlad was a mess.
Stylings of Vlad and Hitler.
Yeah, Hitler's just there with a guitar, just singing around, and Vlad's just like, "What are you doing?" That's a terrible impression. But yeah,
right, so an Odd Couple style musical sitcom.
Yeah.
With Hitler's lounge music career.
All the others just dance in the background, trying to make music videos.
Yeah, Vlad the Impaler, takes on a call center job or something, And
I thought the professor sounded very much like he was doing a John Hurt impression. Sounding very much like John Hurt to me. Well, to me anyway, so.
Yeah, no, you're right. I was thinking, who does he remind me of? He also reminded me of the actor a little bit, is it Tom Wilkinson that was in The Full Monty and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind? Have I got the right name there? Do you know the chap I'm on about?
You've lost me there. I don't know who that is.
Oh, well, he's a very good actor.
I'm just going to say yes.
You are probably right. We shall agree with you What were the actors? Because these are guest stars. What are they from? Like, they looked vaguely familiar, but I couldn't really pin them down. Someone said one of them was from The Hobbit.
Yeah, the Hitler guy was from Hobbit.
Right, I'm guessing he played something quite different in Hobbit then.
I don't know, I haven't seen it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a clue.
I don't know where the other ones were from. I should have done more research.
Yeah, me too. But I guess no for next time. But now that I've seen them in that, I'm definitely going to go onto something like IMDb and look them up and see what else they were in, because they're all really, really good. I really rated them.
Yeah, they did. They've embodied the role so well that we have completely forgotten any previous roles they might have taken, and therefore they only exist now in these roles. And we're very sorry, but that one actor is now comedy Hitler forever. And speaking of comedy Hitler, we've pretty much covered this one already, but the next question I have on my list is to talk about Lister's duet with Hitler. I'm assuming the consensus is much love for Hitler's musical career.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
Yes, and we should all be buying his next CD release and supporting him on Kickstarter, no doubt. I wouldn't be surprised if they try and release that song. That's got like Christmas charity special all over it with massive number of reasons, but it really has.
Oh, I don't know about that. That is a tricky line to tread.
I don't think it would happen for very long. The legals would be fairly expensive on that and might outweigh a lot of the charitable contributions. But I think it has. I think it has potential.
I guess we'll just have to see.
Time will tell how far that joke can be taken before there is a major backlash against it and we're all sued.
I'm working on a joke for it. I'm working on it.
You're working on it. Are we going to hear more about this in future sort of videos and things?
You get my own version of the song with guitar and all that sort of stuff.
Hey, maybe.
Yeah, are you going to dress up?
Could do.
You might want to dress up as Lister.
I'll write a note. Dress as.
Not from the duet, but I also liked. I have completely. Oh yeah, sorry. It's not particularly related to the duet at all. But I just remember something else that I really liked. And we haven't covered it yet. The Murdoch joke.
Yes, actually, that was quite funny how they snuck that one in there.
Oh dear.
They were just like topical reference. Carry on. I like the way they didn't actually show the text, because with all the others they showed you the text and read it out and said it. With that one they didn't. I'm wondering if there's a particular where they were trying to avoid libel or something in that particular regard.
Oh yeah.
But they just kind of said it. They said it in a way that could have been cut out if they'd had any issues. So I think maybe they knew that it was very funny, but they might get told off.
Am I right in thinking that the episode about it could have, well, obviously it has to kind of fit half-hour slot, but they cut 14 minutes from the episode. Is that right? Did I read that somewhere?
Really?
In the edit? I think so.
That's quite a lot.
Did you know that, Don?
No. I want my extra 40 minutes
So
back.
there might be a well, maybe there'll be a special long edition of this when it comes out on Blu-ray and whatnot, because it would be interesting to know what they took out based on what they left in. Yeah,
I think Richard Naylor mentioned it somewhere. I don't know, maybe on Twitter or somewhere like that. But I don't have any more details to hand. But perhaps something we can look forward to, like you say, seeing on any future DVD or Blu-ray release.
Definitely. I mean, there must be, as you said, some amazing bloopers for the duet. or maybe even a full version of that, because they'd got quite into it. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a much longer version of that to improve Dong's ringtone even further. I think there's going to be some possible good extras on this series, definitely.
Like a whole album, that would do.
A whole album. I was going to say, is there anything else you'd like to add talking about this episode? And I'm guessing from Don, that's making an entire album.
Yes, that's the only way that could be improved.
They could redo the as duets.
God. I'm writing all these ideas down, and I'm going to email them. Going to email them to Doug and say, make this happen.
Started something now. There's an entire YouTube channel in this, I'm sure. Duets between Red Dwarf characters and famous dictators from history.
I'm just trying to think what other songs they've done. They've done on the series throughout the years that maybe they could do an album. There's the
well, the Tongue Tied is obviously the nothing can beat that. That's an audio visual experience in itself. They've done at least one song about Rimmer.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh, I can't think of any of this just now.
The Barbershop Quartet. That was good.
That's great. So, Ace Rimmer needs a song.
Ace Rimmer. Yeah, Ace Rimmer?
I think that's something that they've missed a trick there. We should write to them.
Get him on Twitter. Doug, make it happen.
Right, so overall, I think I probably guessed the answer to this one, but Series 12, Episode 1, what would you rate that out of 5 stars? We'll go to you, Mary.
It's got to be a 5.
Yeah. A full 5 stars.
Yeah, I just, the more that I've watched it, the more that I think, as I said at the start, straight out the paddock, down the hill, down the road, across hill and dale, just strong dwarf. And so I feel that I can't give it any less than 5. I thought it was a really good episode, and I think the more that you watch it, the more that you appreciate all that it offers. So yeah, mine is a 5.
Yeah, I've got to say 5 as well. Just you can't give it any more. You can't give it any less than a 5. Just can't. That's it, really.
Bex, what about you? What would you rate it as?
So pretty much 5-star rating all round there. I think I need to watch it another 6 or 7 times to catch up with everybody else. But overall, great strong start to the series, and definitely we need more of Kat shooting people in the head, and apparently wants to sing along with Hitler. Not something I thought I'd say very often. Cool. And Don, you went to the lager launch where they have made is this just a promotional one-off thing where you can get the Leopard lager that they drink on the Dwarf? Or is this actually an ongoing thing?
I think it's just for today, yesterday, today and tomorrow. That's what I think it is. I don't think it's a very long-running thing. I mean, the bloke in the pub said there's only 140 bottles and 1 keg in that pub. So that's how limited it is. It's not very much.
But I think.
Cool. And was there anyone from the show there, or?
Oh, just Doug turned up for about an hour and then left.
Oh, just Doug. Just Doug Naylor.
I don't even know who he was. He was just there. He was just like, "Hi, I like this show," and I was like, "Yeah, of course you do. I don't even know who you are. Just come in off the street." Yeah, it's quite funny. He was behind the bar putting it in a. And he made a beer afterwards.
What was it? I was about to say something about Leopard. Oh yeah, so a friend of another friend of mine, she was also like yourself, Don. She was at the event yesterday down in London. I came out the bank at lunchtime to a text from her going, "So I just had a pint with Doug Naylor." I was like, what? And then she filled me in on a little bit more detail, all that she could say at the time, really. But I was part insanely jealous and part also very happy for her as well.
Oh, man. If I had missed this out, I'd have been so upset. Might have had to block a few people. There's a joke nobody will get about 5 people.
Oh.
But it is weird. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, Bex, did you get an invite for it? I think they asked people that did cosplay at Dimension Jump this year, because you guys all rocked up in your stuff, didn't you, Don?
Yep, I did. A lot of looks on the train. A lot of weird looks. I was like, hi, I'm off to the pub.
Till later. This was quite a new one on me. I'd completely missed the fact that there was a lager, but I don't drink.
Yeah, I mean, I don't drink lager. If it was cider, that's a different matter. But I think it's interesting. It's a novel thing to do, to have, to go with the launch of it on Dave. And it was just fun to buy the paper today and look at page 28 and see people that you've seen at a convention.
That terrible picture of me in it. Oh, it's awful.
I'll have to go back and have another look.
Maybe next time they can do a curry promotion or something.
Yes,
curry
amazing.
Cereal promotion or something like that. I think that there'd be a lot of people that would get on board with curry for breakfast, although I wouldn't want to be on the tube on those days. But I'm glad that overall everyone has pretty much enjoyed the episode, and the rewatching of it makes it better. I've only seen it twice, so maybe I need to watch it a couple more times just to get every single nuance there. But I just generally enjoy the more cat there is in an episode, the better for me. And if he's shooting people in the head, all the better. That's all I can say. Okay, so pretty much 5-star rating all round there. I think I need to watch it another 6 or 7 times to catch up with everybody else. But overall, great strong start to the series, and definitely we need more of Kat shooting people in the head, and apparently wants to sing along with Hitler. Not something I thought I'd say very often. But you can find Red Dwarf TV here on YouTube. You want to subscribe and hear more of these and watch interviews with cast members and all the other awesome Red Dwarf stuff we have. My name is Bex Trista, and you can see me on Trista Bites on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Mary, where can people find you?
I am mainly on Twitter, Mary_Sweeney.
Awesome. How about you, Don?
I'm on everything as Third Tech Guy. It's very easy.
Third Tech Guy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I
almost wish you weren't that, so I could have that username.
Yeah, well.
So there you go, guys. Thank you very much for listening. See you on the Smegcast next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.